Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Alan Rosen.
Welcome to CAD 117, Intermediate AutoCAD, in our weekly Zoom classroom meeting. All right, as we look at our calendar of events, Module 9 is due today, and then the final exam starts next week, December 7th, and Module 10, which we'll be releasing today, is due next week as well. The last day to turn in drawings is December 14th. As we look at how things are working out, the final practice exam is available. Al, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, please. Thank you. It's found under quizzes and exams under a splash page, the main page. Onto it. It's activated as today. It goes through all the way to December 7th, and it ends at about 12 to 1 o'clock, 1:30 in that area. So it's no problem. The final exam starts December 7th, and it costs two parts. One is for honor lock, and that's if you have one program you have to do for it's $6.99 or $11, I believe, for multiple tests you can use.
That's right, it's per semester. So there's going to be two parts to the final exam next week. One will require honor lock, and so you'll need a laptop or a computer with a webcam. You'll need to have an ID to show them that that's who you are. And essentially, we just want to make sure that everybody is who they say they are, so that we need to have that proctored. And the exam will just be for the multiple choice part, which will be 100 points, and it'll be textbook questions. And Al, we've got a practice exam in here, right?
Yes, sir. If you go up to quizzes and exams, please, and as Joe is logged in as a student, and as you go down, just left click on it, please. And it automatically says there's no honor lock needed, and there it is.
Right, and if I bail out of it as a student and I look at it again, we can see a couple of the questions just to see how that looks. And so it's 100 points. And it would be terms like we have seen. Name three terms that are used to describe the creation of technical drawings. It will be a written response question. In what field must a drafter be familiar with floor plans, elevations, and construction details? A drafter who divides her duties between mechanical drafting and electronic drafting is known as what type of drafter? And so you can put in your written responses to this. You have an unlimited number of times that you can take this test, and then you'll be prepared for the test when it starts next week. If I come back out here,
please. And if you go back out, go to splash page real quick as a student. And if you go down a little bit, there's a hands-on drawing, we say. And on a hands-on drawing will be activated next week. I believe we're going to start that on that Monday instead of the 7th. Gives you a week and finish it. So it should be no problem then. It should only take you about an hour and a half to do both parts, but we're giving you a little longer time on the drawing part of it because it is closest to the end of the school year.
That's right. The majority of the work is behind us now. We're just at that point where we're wrapping it up and making sure everybody just finishes everything that they need to turn in. Be sure to turn in any drawings that you can check in the grade book. As we take a look at how things are laying out, we want you to know that there's a practice exam available. Take the practice exam, do the best you can, be prepared for the test. And then next week, the test will be very similar to that. We'll use honor lock to go through, and then you'll have on your own to do the hands-on drawing, and you'll submit that to the assignment folder, much like everybody's been doing so far. I think everybody's kind of getting it.
Also on the final, you can use a book or computer, whatever you like to do, to look up some answers to help you pass the test better.
Module 10, as we look at Module 10, it goes through 3D modeling basics. This will be our last module. It covers chapter 10 of our technical drawing book. And then as we look through these links, here's our technical drawing textbook for Module 10, 3D modeling basics. And what the author does is he gives us these two-dimensional drawings and he shows how to take those drawings and then make them into 3D by using things like extrude, 3D rotate, and talking about how those techniques are done. And we have that in the video, so there's a video tutorial for that that's already out there, but this is one of the drawings that we'll do for Module 10. And if we come back here and look at Module 10, this green one is the other one. Here's the Chapter 13 lecture. Here's the same lecture in PDF. Here's the drawing 10A. Here's the drawing 10B if we look at them. So here's 10A with the instructions to make the tool slide drawing. Region the parts, extrude them, 3D rotate, and then move, union, put on a title block. And then as we look at Module 10B, same technique, different part. And so they didn't really have anything for architecture, so the mechanical parts are how we'll model them. Again, we take these 2D drawings and we use extrusions and 3D rotates. They didn't go into as much detail on this one because they did on the first one. If we go back to Module 10, we have some videos on how to create those drawings. So here's the tool slide tutorial. This one looks like it's in our old D2L system. 3D model. So as we go through, the technique hasn't changed any. And so we'll go through and walk you through that same technique if you need to use the CAD videos or if you like to use the CAD videos. Most of the students do. We go through with a video on how to demonstrate those techniques. And then we have the same type of technique for Module 10B. So that's our last module. Let's see if I can kind of get out of this and get back into my D2L. I think I'm in YouTube. Here we go. And so we have 10A, 10B, and the exercises. And then as we go through, you can do bonus work if you'd like to. All right. So as we go through and we start to wrap things up for this meeting, Module 10 is our last drawing assignment. Go ahead and take a look at the final exam practice questions so you're prepared for that next week. And then next week we'll start the final exam. If you have any questions, be sure to email us and we'll be happy to respond to that. Al, is there anything else that we want to talk about before we end this Zoom meeting?
No, I just want to make sure that you understand that we do a lot of grading. I'd like you to take a look at the grade book itself, seeing if you missed something or I missed something or Joe missed something, whatever else with grading. I doubt it, but could be, and check to see if all your drawings are in, and if you have any questions about any part of your grades or anything you need to know, please don't hesitate to get a hold of us.
Alrighty then, I'm going to end this Zoom meeting and end this recording, and we'll open things up for questions.